Hello traders and welcome to the weekly outlook and setups volume 86. It's Iliya here, and as always I'm super excited to have you on my YouTube channel. And as you already know, in this video we're gonna have a look at the market, how it developed this week, what opportunities that we have, and what we can potentially expect for the upcoming week. So this one was a little bit tricky. I am not sure if I'm alone, but if you had a hard time to get into some trades this week, make sure to let me know down in the comments, right? So I took only 2 trades this week, one on Tuesday and one on Friday, and both are break even, and I'm finishing the week like on very slight profits, which is nothing too major. But I'm gonna show you the trades that I took and all the trades that the community took as well, and provide you with as much value as possible. If you are new to this channel, it's all about trading. I share this weekly analysis every Saturday, and once per week I am giving my best to share some educational content. So make sure to actually check the most recent 2 because they're really good and they kind of build a story of how I trade. So make sure to visit my educational playlist, watch all the videos, and then by watching this weekly outlook you actually get a little bit of a first introduction into my kind of strategies, and then with the weekly outlook you actually see how I apply them. So make sure to do this, and if you are grateful and if you're excited about everything, make sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell in order not to miss the upcoming videos. And if you already did, let's just jump straight into the analysis. Alright, as always, starting with the US dollar currency index to have a look how the dollar developed this week and to potentially set the bias for the other pairs, because you know that this index is comprised of all the major currencies, but again it's 57% euro. This means that the DXY is pretty much negatively correlated to the euro and is mostly influencing, for example, euro USD. But again, it provides us with a nice outlook of how the dollar is doing, so we can set an initial bias of what we can expect for the dollar overall, right? So if we just zoom in a little bit on the weekly time frame, we can see that this week was a bearish engulfing candle, actually engulfing the previous week, which is pretty nice. And as you can see how the EMA actually acted as a pretty nice resistance right there. The market failed on 2 occasions to close above it, and I was calling some longs right there, which actually played out pretty nicely. And I was expecting the market actually to revisit around 92 key level, which is pretty much still possible. However, we have this week some very nice bearish pressure that is potentially introducing a lot of sellers, but I still think we might have another leg to the upside. Again, I don't want to call it for sure, but still 92 is something that I'm looking for in order to go for a really longer term sells on the dollar. As you can see on the daily time frame, we already created this leg to the upside that broke structure on the left. We pulled back a little bit and we created a higher low formation, which is exactly right there. And then we created a very nice higher high. So this is really good to see because currently our higher low stays right there. The price action is not pretty clear on the DXY, but again, even if you switch to the line chart, you're gonna see that your last higher low, major higher low, is right there. We have a little bit right there. So basically we are still moving in an uptrend on the daily time frame, right? So keep that in mind. Then dropping to the 4-hourly time frame, you can see since the market opened, we had this massive sell-off to the downside. We just had a little bit of a pullback, and I actually called this one, right? I called a little bit of a pullback, maybe a little bit bigger. And then my first target was this level right here. The market tapped into it, kind of reacted a little bit, and then just flushed to the downside. And currently, where is the market reacting from is this demand area just right there. So as you can see, the market is just tapping into it, reacting, tapping, reacting. Then we had a little bit of a bullish move over Friday, but nothing pretty much overall, right? Just a very impulsive whole week of the DXY to the downside. So what are my expectations, right? So I really want to see how the market is going to react to this level right there, because as you can see, since we tapped the bottom, we created a lower low, lower high. So we sell right there. Have a look at the EMA, how the market is failing to close above the EMA. But then what do? We create a higher low formation, right? So you have a market structure shift right there, right? Failure to make a lower low, creating a higher low, and then a great higher high. So since then, I actually called longs. The first level for taking longs was right there. Beautiful respect, push, pullback, higher low. And since then, we've been trading bullish. And right now, the market is tapping into the extremes of that level, all right? So currently it's a little bit hard to analyze the structure because you can see what is happening right here. It's all wicks, it's all madness. Then dropping to the hourly time frame, we had quite a few, what was it, since 10th of February all the way till 12th. So 2 days of consolidation. Then we broke above. Right now we're sitting back in again into the consolidation. So I am patiently waiting to see some sort of a shift, all right? So if the dollar is gonna go bullish, I wanna see a higher high and a break of this structure right there, of this wick. So if we have this, then I will be taking longs. However, if the market starts to break this level and close below this level, then I'm gonna start looking for shorts. All right, for longer term shorts. So again, always guys, keep in mind the higher time frame, the daily, that we still expect 92, but again, it might not tap. So if we potentially have a break below this level, then I'm gonna start looking for shorts. So as always, stay tuned for the Tuesday analysis, where we're gonna have a look at Monday's price action and eventually kind of forecast what could happen for the week ahead. Euro dollar weekly time frame, as you can see, this is more or less an inside bar formation, almost, because this week actually broke the high of this candle, but nothing too much happened this week except for a very nice move to the upside that I couldn't capitalize on. And then we had like 2 days again of consolidation, pretty much the same as the DXY. You know from my previous weekly outlooks as well that I am currently targeting this level. I really want to see this kind of level right there being retested. So this is 1.19 before going to the upside. All right, so I want to see the DXY tap into 92 and I want to see the euro tap into 1.19, and then both of them, the DXY can flush and this one can explode. All right, so as you can see from the weekly time frame, we are bullish. However, we can have again one more leg to the downside to tap us into 1.19. Right, so we came very close to it actually. Right there, we tapped into this candle. We're strongly reacted, but right now, can this be a lower high on the daily? Right, as you can see, the last lower high, I would classify it to be this one. This is your body to wick, strong move to the downside, stayed below, and right now we're strongly pulling back to create potentially an equal lower high. So I always advise when you have an equal lower high, start thinking of inverse head and shoulders. All right, because have a look, left shoulder, head, right shoulder, and then we can potentially start exploding to the upside. So this is another thing that I'm looking at right now. But as you can see, then, oh man, my lines keep disappearing. As I drop to the forward time frame, you can see very bullish price action. I called this break of structure right there for a potential pullback. Again, I expected a little bit of a deeper pullback to take a long, but then the market just skyrocketed to the upside. Very little pullback right there to take a long again, and then we had this consolidation. On Friday, we dropped to the downside, right now pulling back. So again, what will this market do? I have no idea for now. Therefore, just let's zoom in on market structure. So where is your most recent high or low? I would say this one right there, and I'm gonna take the average of all the wicks. Why is it this one? Because have a look, after the market pulled back, we pulled back right there, and then we created a higher high because this body closed above this wick right there, almost, but it closed above this structural level. And then we strongly broke to the downside, breaking this structure, and currently we are actually in the pullback phase. All right, so on market open, we can definitely expect some sort of a reaction right there. We can possibly flush to the downside, or we can possibly explode to the upside as well. So again, this is why I don't like doing too much analysis on Saturday or on Sunday, because the market can gap and it can open right there. So then you have to analyze again everything that you have done so far. But personally, I would say similar to the DXY, if I see a lower low right there on EU, I'm gonna be looking for a pullback, and then I'm gonna start selling it. All right, all the way down to 1.19 potentially. All right, so let's see how this one is gonna open. We have first break of structure. We have a first potential lower high. Again, keep in mind that this is not yet a lower high. This is just potentially a lower high. So if you have a lower low, then this lower high is confirmed. Then I'm gonna be looking for the pullback and then potentially for sales. But if the market again decides to strongly break above the structure, I'm going to be looking for a pullback again, retest, and possibly some long opportunities. And then we can even potentially go for higher highs on the weekly. All right. So euro dollar, we need some extra patience. So let's see how the week is going to open. Euro yen weekly time frame, not the best price action, but again, what we can see from the weekly is that we are trading to the upside. We created the higher high, then we had a very strong pullback that straight tapped into the EMA and potentially retested the structure on the left. Then we had 2 weeks of bullishness, and then we have 2 weeks of overall consolidation. All right, so this market is not moving too much. Then dropping to the daily time frame, we had this really condensed formation, like this kind of flag or channel, whatever it is. We had a break, and everyone was looking for the retest potentially right there for a lower high. But as you can see, the market just pulled back again into the zone, and right now we are overall consolidating right here on the daily. So nothing too much again, even from the daily, except the fact that we are overall trading to the upside right now, shorter term. All right, so make sure to actually mark this level, because I think 127,500 can get tagged out first, and then we might have some sort of a sellers. All right, so let's drop to the forward time frame. So as you can see this week, where did we start? Actually right there, since the 8th of February, we already strongly impulsed to the upside. So again, I was looking for some sort of a pullback either right there at the most recent broken structure or maybe a little bit below. And as you can see, we tapped into that level, strongly reacted, then we potentially can have a long from there. But if I drop to the hourly time frame, like, yeah, it was a little bit sloppy for me. Even on the 15-minute, I couldn't spot many clear opportunities on this one. Like, this is a very sharp pullback, then we have a break, but where is your structure? Where do you look for the retest? It wasn't clear. Like, this was the structure for me, but if you watch my last video, right, this is not an entry, and if you already watched it, you will know why, right? And then afterwards, after this, I couldn't find any entries as well, so I just kind of gave up on that pair and I didn't monitor it much. But let's actually evaluate what could happen. Again, if we very simply analyze market structure, the market is currently creating higher lows, higher high, higher low, higher high, equal higher low right there. And currently we're actually failing to make a higher high. Basically, we are potentially consolidating on the hourly time frame. And if I just jump on it, you can see the current, oops, not the fib, we can see the current price action that it's like this. This is what you're trading. So what I want to see, again, super simple, is some sort of a move. So again, what I always do when I'm confused, I drop my low and I will drop my high. And what I want to see is a strong impulse outside of those levels, all right? So if I potentially have a strong move to the downside with a close below, with a perfect retest, then I'm going to start looking for shorts. But if I have a strong move to the upside with a perfect close, stay above, retest, then we can potentially look for longs as well, all right? EJ, super simple. Let's just wait for some structure. Overall, bullish market, but still, I kind of get the feeling that we might rush above this level, tap into a 127.5, and then maybe we can start seeing some sell-offs because the market is a little bit too high right now and it has to pull back a little bit from a weekly time frame. So let's see, let's wait for Monday, and then we're gonna reevaluate on Tuesday. Next on the list are the Aussies. So let's have a look at AU weekly time frame. What we can see is the market creating a beautiful higher high. We have a nice and corrective pullback. The market, even from the previous week, showed us some very nice bullish pressure. This weekly candle opens, created a little bit of a pullback, right? And then we strongly impulsed to the upside, and overall a very bullish week on Aussie dollar. As you can see right there from the daily time frame, we have this nice push to the downside that tapped into a supportive level on the left. And since then, since the 5th of February, we actually have this bullish engulf. On Monday, the market just created a little bit of a pullback, impulse up, little consolidation. Thursday, bullish, and then even Friday, I took a long from right there, but I was stopped out at break even, and then I missed out on this move to the upside, right? So what potentially the Aussie could be doing is it might be wanting to create a higher high. So definitely our targets could be 78 and even above. So let's see if this is actually going to happen. But we can see that the market has definitely changed to the upside, right? Since right there, again, a little bit of a practice. The market failed to make a new lower low. So we created a push, lower low, lower high, so we take shorts from right there, but then the market pushes, fails to make a new lower low, and then strongly impulses and breaks the most recent structure, comes back almost for a retest, strong impulse to the upside. Then we had all of that consolidation. But then what happened and why I actually took my trade, again, if we zoom in, we had this strong move to the upside that confirmed a higher high. We stayed above, so I was looking for a pullback. And I was looking for a pullback like right there at the structural area. The market tapped into it, rejected it as well. Dropping to the hourly time frame, we can even see further rejections, right here. The market showed us the rejection and then actually dropped to the 15 as well. But I took actually the trade on the 5. So how I took my trade, again, what you can see is the market creating a little bit of a kind of a support. Then we fake the support below. Then we strongly impulse and stay above this price. All right, so this was a confirmation for me. And again, I was looking to get into the market at the extremes because this is what I do right now in order to really, because if I drop to the 3 and the 1 minute, you're going to see structure exactly right there. So I'm not advising you to go and do this, but my entry was taken from right there. I actually shared it on Instagram, and my stop loss was 4 pips. And then I was looking actually for my target was, let me see, I think it was this one right there, this wick. I wanted to see this wick taken out. And as you can see, this would have been a pretty nice 1 to 10. However, so I was triggered in, nice 0 drawdown. We pushed into the highs, I secured break even right there. And then actually just New York opened and flushed to the downside, stopped me out at break even. And even if I let the trade run, it would have been a loss. And then I was like, yeah, it's Friday, so I don't want to look for a re-entry. And then I just started getting my alerts pinging because I wanted to secure partials exactly right there at this level. And I was like, no, but as you can see, 1 to 10 trades, overall break even, but it is what it is, right? We're going to have those trades. And I spoke to some friends as well. They also had some break even, so I'm not alone, right? So what could AU do right now? This is our current higher low formation, but the market has failed to make a new higher high, so we can actually mark the higher high, right? Then dropping to the hourly time frame, we can see how the market has strongly impulsed to the upside and has broken most recent structure. So what I could expect on Aussie to happen is to have a little bit of a pullback to potentially retest this area right there, and from there we can have a long setup. All right, so I'm calling longs on AU just because I expect a higher high. Overall, the price action is pretty bullish. There is no way that I'm calling shorts because this level was respected, and potentially right now, if this level is respected, we should be expecting a higher high, right? And if I zoom out a little bit, you can see that we have this resistance level to target and even this one right there. So definitely, let's say the level, yeah, 78,200 can definitely get tapped, and then from there we are gonna reevaluate. All right, so calling longs for this week on AU. As for AJ, I was looking for this level to get tapped, very similar to AU, because this is a very strong area. The market tapped inside and created a beautiful higher high. So actually, if I just drop to the weekly, a huge explosion on this one, right? UJ, again, we're gonna have a look, was super bullish, and this is why all the JPYs are bullish as well. This one opened right there on the 8th, kind of consolidated a little bit, but then on Thursday and Friday, we had this massive explosion and a confirmation for a higher high, actually, which is pretty good to see. Right now, dropping to the 4-hourly time frame, we can see where the market reacted from. It's from this level. So eventually, yeah, I don't want to call such a big pullback, but eventually the market is going to come to revisit those areas, right? But currently, if you are looking for longs again, I would suggest that you look for these structural level, oops, not the FIP, these structural levels right there to potentially take a long. But if this level gets broken, guys, then I'm going to be looking at this supportive level. All right, so if the hourly time frame actually breaks this structure, then I'm going to be looking for a potential pullback and a potential short into this area right here. And then if this area shows me slow down and then a potential break and retest, then I'm going to be looking for a continuation. All right, so first of all, let's differentiate. This is my hourly level that I'm going to be looking for shorter term longs, but if this level gets broken, then I'm going to be looking for shorter term shorts into the 4-hourly level. So this is my plan on AJ. Make sure that you have this on your charts as well, and let's just see how it's going to play out for this week. Let's have a quick look at the NZDs because they're pretty much doing nothing right now. As you can see, for 3 weeks, we're just creating long-legged candles, dojis, and whatever it is, but it's not moving at all. Then dropping to the daily time frame, you can see currently the range that the market is stuck in. All right, so it is definitely cooking for something, and we have to be extra patient. And I'm just thinking to wait for a daily move on this pair before I focus on it, right? Because I'm looking at it every day, and I'm trying to force something, but this is what we're currently trading into, right? So this is the price action, and you can always find some short opportunities or some long opportunities. For example, I was looking at this level right there that got tapped exactly right here. Then we had this change of structure. Then if I drop to the hourly time frame, you can as well clearly see that the market was broken right there. And then even if I jump on the 15-minute, I was looking for some entries. Yeah, on this fake. So why this fake? Because there is that level that I was looking for as well that got tapped to precision, took out this double top right there, and this was a beautiful manipulation trade, right? This is what I was looking for shorts. Then the market pushed, and what it did, it came to retest structure again and pushed again, right? So there was a short trade, but again, is this a high probability? No, it's not, because then what you get is the market reversing on you and then taking out at break even, and the market continues to consolidate, all right? So this is the story of actually NZD USD. And if I try to break it again, like the most recent price action, we had the high, the market pushed down, higher low, cool. We have a push pullback. We expect longs, but the market does not make a new higher high. Therefore, it creates this structure, which is our lower high right now, and breaks structure to the downside, which is this one, all right? So actually, currently, it looks like a short market, but very similar to the other pairs that I indicated. I would love to see a confirmation of a lower low. Because if we have a lower low, then I can expect a lower high, and then we can potentially start trading to the downside, all right? Because currently we're still stuck in that range, and although we have a break, we have a pullback, this is still a not confirmed lower high, right? We have a break, pullback, so yeah, this could be shorts, but I'm not advising you to just jump on Monday and just jump into shorts, because definitely this market can run into the highs to potentially come to hunt the highs and then to reverse, all right? So guys, make sure NZDs are not a high probability pairs right now, so just waiting for something to happen, and ideally I want to see a clear trend being introduced. And if I have a look on NZD/JPY, well, it is a little bit bullish. It's more bullish than bearish. Like NZD/USD is more consolidative, but this one is more moving to the upside. As you can see, push, pullback. You can take longs from here. Push, pullback. You can take longs from here. Then it gets stopped out. Then you have a pullback. And then again, what is the market doing right now? It is consolidating. Why? Because the major structure is right there. This one, and then at the highs, the new high that was created is right here. So what is the market doing right now? It's staying in the middle. So what I want to see is the market to clearly break structure, stay below, pull back, continue, or the market to clearly break structure above, confirm that it wants to stay above, come back for a higher low, and then to potentially continue. All right. So this is my plan on the NZDs. There is no reason, or there is no sense to really overcomplicate this sort of market structure. So again, guys, just make sure to wait for a clear break, clear retest, and a clear introduction of a trend. All right, so let's see what other pairs we have. USD/JPY weekly time frame. So for the first time since a very long time, we had a weekly close above the EMA and breaking structure to the upside. We had a confirmation that we stayed above for 1 week, and this week looked like a pullback. All right, and I was calling longs on this pair, but first of all, I want to mark some key levels. The first one is right there. Right, so I personally think the market has to revisit some of those structural areas right there, not to even say the extreme right there. So personally, I'm going to be looking at this level 104 to get retested before really getting a move to the upside. All right, and even more perfectly, I'm going to be looking for this level, which is just 10 pips below 104, but still looking for those levels to get retested. Then dropping to the 4-hourly time frame, you can see what kind of structure we had. A strong sell-off, right? I had a look at this level that got broken. I had a look at this middle level, which is currently actually holding this little kind of indecision candle. We faked below it, we broke structure, we retested, and actually have a few members that are currently long on UJ. But personally, what I expect to happen is the market to create another leg to the downside, to tap into those levels, and then to continue. All right, so I am calling like shorter term shorts on UJ personally. But again, what could happen is the market can actually retest this structure where the EMA is sitting right now, and then we can just continue to pump into the highs. All right, so again, make sure that you do not confuse yourself between the higher time frames and the lowers. On the higher, we can ideally expect a bigger pullback. All right, something like this, and then we can continue to the upside. But if the lower time frame, like the 4-hourly time frame, which is not by any means lower, if it still doesn't break structure to the downside, we keep taking longs. All right, so if I'm actually show you right there, have a look, this beautiful break of structure right there. Have a look where the structure was broken. So actually I have members that are long from right here, holding, then we started to pump up, consolidation, then we strongly impulsed to the upside. So I think they actually took some profits and actually closed the trades. But this was a long trade on UJ that I didn't take because it just wasn't that great looking for me, overall consolidation right there, but it played out pretty nicely. All right, what could happen right now as well, the market can react from this little area just right there, and as you can see, we tap into it and a very strong reaction. So again, guys, if you want to take a long on UJ, I would say wait for a pullback, wait for a confirmation, and then take the long. All right, but if the market just starts to flush with very strong pressure, have like the back of your head that potentially it's gonna hunt for 104. All right, so this is my call on UJ. Very shorter term longs, could be that the market is gonna find support from those areas. Make sure that you patiently wait for the signals. All right, could be that we can have a short from this area as well, because this is a pretty strong area right there that the market reacted from. But again, make sure to wait for Monday to develop. Make sure to have all of those key levels that I just drawn, and then let's just flow with the markets. All right, this is UJ. Let's have a look at UCAD. USD/CAD weekly time frame. This pair is not one of my favorites recently as well, because you can see like the past few weeks we're just having long like wicks, small body candles. So the market is moving, it's filling the weekly range, but it's not moving in a clear direction. All right, so the past 2 weeks we actually wicked through the EMA, and you can see how nicely it acted as resistance, and then right now it looks like it wants to fall down. But let's see what do we have on the daily. So again, I keep calling right there that we might be going long on this one. So we can see that the series of lower highs right there, the market created a low, lower high, almost a lower low, but then we created a lower high, the market failed to break lower, and we strongly impulsed to the upside, breaking all the structure on the left. And right now, this could actually be a pullback stage in order for the market to potentially reverse to the upside. So this is actually your demand area right now at the bottom, and the market can definitely come inside it, tap it, and then to potentially reverse. And if you remember what I called from the previous week, this market structure shift, right? The market created a lower low. We had a pullback, beautiful short. We have a push, pullback, short, push, pullback, maybe a short, but it got a little bit messy right there. And then we actually had this strong break of structure right there, even before tapping into this level. So what I would say on UCAD is to really be aware of 26,500, which is a daily level, right? And although we actually broke the most recent structure right there, and we could be looking for longs right now, I would be extra patient and maybe wait for this level to get tapped and then see the same formation as you see right here, like a series of lower lows and lower highs, a break above, and then potentially a retest of structure in order to go to the upside, right? So on UCAD, I really don't want to call longs because we're overall in a short bias market, but maybe shorter term, we're going to have some longs, all right? But if the market just smashes through this level and even these levels right there, then potentially we can just start looking for shorts, all right? So it's super important to flow with the market and not marry a bias, all right? So again, currently we can actually look for longs from this area because the market strongly impulsed. We're tapping into the demand area right there that created the move to the upside. So basically you can right now drop to the 15-minute, to the hourly time frame, even to the lower time frame to potentially look for longs right there. But this is Friday, right? So I'm going to wait for Monday. I'm going to see if the market is actually not going to tap into this area, and then potentially I'm going to reevaluate. So I kind of get a feeling that UCAD might go up, but again, I'm not entirely sure. So let's see how Monday opens, and then from there, we're going to reevaluate. USD Swiss franc was just a straight flush this week, so potentially this market retested those broken structures. Nice wick right now, and a bearish candle. It's not an engulfing candle, but it's pretty much fine. Then dropping to the daily time frame, however, you can see how the market changed the structure from the downside, right? We had this kind of head and shoulders as well. The market pushed, created a higher low, and then we strongly impulsed to the upside, but then we tapped into this bullish candle, which is again a supply and demand, and then we strongly react from it as well. So right now it's pretty crucial to see how the daily is going to carry on, because on the daily we are in an uptrend, but then we tapped into weekly resistance. All right, so it's pretty crucial right now. But then dropping to the hourly time frame, we can see what happened this week. Again, I actually caught a short from right there, but I didn't expect the market to flush that much. All right, this was way too big of a flush. And right now, where is the market sitting? We're sitting at this levels right there, where the market lastly consolidated before creating this big move to the upside. Right now, we actually created a big move to the downside to feel like all that imbalance to the upside was actually filled right now. So from here, we have to reevaluate what is gonna happen. So very recently, like this was actually on Friday, the market broke structure to the upside, all right, and currently is about to retest. And it's pretty similar to UCAD, right? Pretty much the same price action. We have a break above and a potential retest to go long. But again, keep in mind that, all right, the market can react from right here, but it can maybe tap some of those levels right here on the left, and then we can potentially create a longer term short. Why? Because the weekly short and maybe the daily is going to create a lower high, and then it's going to start pumping to the downside, right? So you can see how all of the pairs are kind of a little bit tricky to set a long-term bias, right? Because you can see one time frame is doing this, one time frame is doing that, and most of the times it is consolidating. It's doing like a shorter term move, but then it reverses in the other side. So currently on this one, after this very strong move to the downside, I would expect a little bit of a pullback. Let's say I would really love to see the market retest this area right there. From there, I'm going to reevaluate, start potentially looking for shorts. But if the market really starts to impulse, or if it really starts to change structure, like something like this, push, pull back, then we create another high, then we pull back for a higher low, then I'm just going to start looking for longs. All right. So for USD Swiss franc, again, let's give it some time. Let's see how it opens on Monday. Let's see if it starts to create bullish structure. My key levels are this supportive level. The market broke structure, retested. There could be some longs, and then looking for take profits right there, and to potentially evaluate if the market is going to continue up, break this level, or if we're going to start pumping to the downside, right? So patience on all the pairs. Alright, let's have a look at the GBPs, as always starting from GU. As you can see, a pretty nice weekly continuation to the upside, a pretty nice candle that actually broke out of all of those slow candles that we have for 2 weeks, and right now we are starting to pump to the upside to potentially go for 1.40, because if I just go on the left, you can see where this big move started right there. So potentially this whole area right here is an area of supply, all right, and it starts from 1.40 all the way to 1.42. All right, so potentially I would love to see the market get in there, which is 150 pips more to the upside. Therefore, don't try to go too much counter trends on GU, except for if you are looking for a pullback. All right, and as you can see on the daily time frame, we're creating higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows right there. We faked like too much to the downside, then we opened another fake down, continued to the upside. Thursday consolidation, and then Friday another long to the upside. The trade that I took was from right there, I would say. So I tried to take a retracement trade. Why? Because the market created a higher high, and I was simply looking for the market to reach this area and then to potentially continue. So I was looking for a retest of this area, and then I actually took the trade from the lowest time frames. Let me see if I'm actually gonna spot it right there. Let me see. Yeah, so we had this beautiful Asian session right there. The market faked above, strongly broke structure to the downside, and I actually entered exactly right here, this wick retest right there. So I got a pretty sniper range right there, something like this. Stop loss was above the structure right there, I think 4 pips again. And then I secured break even once the market was down there because it broke structure, and I was just simply looking a little bit more for a little bit more of a pullback. And this is what inspired me to do one of my posts on Instagram, that you just have to target like little daily percentages, because I was sitting around 1 to 6 on this level. Yeah, probably my stop loss was even lower, because when the market was down there, I was up 1 to 6. And I was like, yeah, but let's just wait a little bit more. I'm going to take partials right there at the retest of that structure. But this structure never retested. So you always have to be grateful for what you have right now and take out something from the market. So this is basically the first trade on GU that we took, but unfortunately break even. Then the market strongly started to impulse to the upside, and then again, instead of looking for longs, there was actually some longs. There was a short opportunity that we took again, but this is the 5 minutes. I will actually see it on the 15 minute potentially. Yeah, this one right there. This one was a nice short opportunity during New York, I believe. Let me see. Yeah, exactly. So what we had right there is the market actually breaking structure to the downside, and kind of even from the hourly time frame, you can see how we started to fail to break above. And this was basically a lower high. We broke structure with a candle close below, and then I was looking for a pullback and a continuation to the downside. So this was a pretty nice trade, but I didn't take it because I wasn't trading at that time. Already, this was like a New York session for me, and I'm usually not on my PC. But then we had this very nice New York, like nice pump into the highs to retest some of those areas. And even if I drop to the 3 into the 1 minute, you're gonna see a 2.0 entry right there. And then the market created a nice push to the downside, and actually this would have been a beautiful trade, but this was a trade that the community that trades New York took. So pretty glad for this one as well. And then what we had actually on Friday, there was a short that we took from right there. Why? Because we have this Asian consolidation again. The market strongly fakes below, but we're looking for sells. And then we have this strong move that actually retested an area on the left, which is right there where the move actually started, the move that broke structure. It's right here. So we took a short from right there, rode it to the downside, but again, then pulled back, created a higher low, broke structure to the upside, stopped out at break even. And then again, what the actual trade should have been is a break and retest of those levels right there, and to potentially take it to the upside and ride this extreme move up. So this is GU summed up in a week. One beautiful short trade that I didn't take. Then we had a break even on this one as well. And yeah, pretty much a little bit poor trade management. Again, I'm completely honest. This is the process. This is what we do. This is what I do, at least. So definitely always we have to improve as traders and introduce new rules. But yeah, let's see what could happen on GU for the upcoming week. All right, so I have this extreme level that I really wanted to see retested. All right, this is where the market really impulsed. Then we have even one on the left right there, which is pretty strong. But right now the market is attempting to create a higher high. So is it really going to continue from here? We never know. But potentially, if I am to take a long, I'm gonna be looking for that level right there. All right, because if I drop to the hourly time frame, this is where the market kind of shifted structure. We pushed up, we pulled back, and strongly impulsed to the upside. So shorter term longs could be taken from right there if the market respects that level. But potentially if the market breaks below that level, then we can take shorts all the way down into this level, which is a 4 hourly level. And then we can potentially take shorts based it on the hourly time frame, push, pull back, push into this level. And then from there, we can start taking it to the upside. All right. So for GU right now, first focus is this level to see if it's going to get respected and if we can potentially get some long from there. But if this level is broken with a close below, I'm going to start looking for shorts with targets this level, which is 1.37. All right. And keep in mind that we are potentially going for 1.40 on the hard time frames. So we just need to get a high probability place to buy the market. So 2 levels to monitor. Let's see how this week opens. As for GJ as well, super strong impulse to the upside, nice pullback, potentially a long from right there into demand area from right here as well. Then we broke structure, we created a higher high, again, where we can look for longs right there, where the move actually started, which is a higher low formation. And this is actually a beautiful trade that the majority of the community took. If you drop to the 15-minute time frame, we can see a lower low, lower high, failed to make a lower low, strong impulse to the upside. Where is your structure? It is right there. Retest of the structure, sniper entry, and then here we go. So one of my members actually nailed a 1 to 10 on this one, I believe. So potentially if your stop loss is below, and then you can see almost 1 to 10. So possibly 1 to 8, maybe if your stop loss was a little bit tighter. But this was actually the best trade for this week on GJ, and it was a picture perfect trade, a 2.0 setup, one of the strategies that we utilize. So right now, actually, GJ created a beautiful high, so pretty similar to GU. I'm going to be waiting for some of those areas right there to be revisited. And maybe if I drop to the hourly time frame, we can see again how the market starts to cook around right here. Consolidation, fake below that actually broke structure to introduce sellers. All right, so maybe you have your sell stops below right there, and maybe retest traders are looking for a retest, but this was just a fake in order to tap into a full hourly level right there, and just to create the higher low to potentially move to the upside. So this was a textbook setup as well. But yeah, this is GJ. Overall, what I'm looking for is for the market to create a little bit of a pullback to confirm a higher low formation for me, and then from there we are gonna take it to the upside. So that GJ. GA, so if you remember, I was calling that level right here to potentially take a long from. And the market pretty much developed as expected. They tapped into that area, but then it started to consolidate like this. Then we had this move up, pretty much fine. Consolidate again, another leg into the downside. So basically what this week did, if I drop to the weekly time frame, is overall an indecision, right? So again, what this market wants to do on the daily time frame, we can definitely tap into this area. I want you to take note of that level right there. It's not a major level, maybe 77,500 that can get tapped, because what we can see right now is the market building up lows. We have a low right there, low right there, low right there, and it seems like the market is not able to push further. All right, so what could happen is the market can hunt for those levels below, can break structure, retest, and then we can potentially go up. All right, so this is my forecast on GA, because I can just see that it struggles to break above. Therefore, I'm gonna call a manipulation below into those levels right there to potentially retest this sort of structural levels right there. And then from here, if the market respects, it should break structure, and then potentially from there we can take it to the upside. All right, so this is my call on GA, but pretty much nothing this week. We opened, tapped into this area, little long, strong short, didn't break structure, a little bit of a long, but that's it. All right, so on GA, let's wait for a hunt into 77,500. And lastly, Euro GBP, we strongly broke to the downside, we pulled back, consolidated. So a whole week of consolidation. If I drop to the weekly time frame, yes, we have like a bearish week, but no, pretty much nothing. And this bearish week was actually created on Friday. Have a look. This is the market open, 8, wick, little bit bullishness, and then on Friday we had a little move down. All right. So what I would actually expect on this one is, possibly a continuation. I want you to mark this level right there that hasn't been retested. This is a pretty strong demand area, and the market is creating a high, and a high. So everyone has their stop loss above right here. So if the market is actually going to create a big move to the downside, I feel that it's going to create something like this. All right, so make sure that you are aware of this. And even if I drop a fib for further confluence, this could be like the extreme fib. 78.6 definitely can get tapped into it, because currently we're just reacting from the 50%. definitely the 61.8, the 705 and 786 could be tapped, so make sure to keep that in mind. And although the market is currently breaking structure to the downside and could pull back for a lower high, I'm always keeping in mind those higher time frame levels. All right, so we're just about to tap into support, so let's see how the market is going to react. We have resistance right there, so basically we're currently stuck in a range, and if the market is going to exit a range, it's going to gather liquidity either to the downside or to the upside. So this is what I'm calling on Euro GBP. Nothing pretty much this week. Potentially a clear break below could be nice to potentially look for a retest, but eventually I'm looking at this level, which is 88,200, to tap and then to take a high probability sell. Right? So this is the GBPs, guys. Make sure to stay tuned for the Tuesday analysis on Telegram, where I'm going to go again in depth of what happened Monday and what could happen during the week as well. So let's have a look at some other instruments right now. Let's have a quick look on gold. So as you can see, we tapped into this demand area that I spoke about, 1780. We reacted strongly from it. We created a move to the upside, but you can see from the weekly time frame that the move did not sustain. All right, what does that mean? That there are not enough orders to potentially push the market up. All right, then dropping to the daily, we have our supply area and we have our demand area. The market tapped into it, created a move to the upside, but this could simply be a lower high formation on the daily, because you can see lower low, lower high, and right now we can actually expect another leg to the downside. Will that happen? I am definitely not sure. All right, because we never know what's going to happen in the market, because once you drop to the forward time frame, you have a top right there, and then we created this very strong uptrend. Currently, the market is tapping into this full hourly level and reacting from it, right? Why is this a full hourly level? Because we created a push, kind of stopped to create the base, and then we very strongly impulsed away from that level, which creates a demand level, right? So what I'm gonna wait for is to see if the market is gonna make a high of this structure. If it makes a high, then we're bullish. But if the market pulls back, creates a lower high, then we can expect a sell-off into 1780 again. And if 780 doesn't hold, 1750 is where I'm gonna start looking for longs and even investing in gold. All right. So this is my plan for gold. I kind of see it as making another leg to the downside. I am not an expert on gold. Again, saying this, I am not trading gold actively. I'm looking for some setups, but I'm mostly focused on Forex. But this is kind of a little bit of a longer term view on gold. So let's see how the market is going to reach this area right there, if it's going to get respected. If it respects, potentially shorts into 1780, and then trying to align right there to see if we're going to have some sort of a support to potentially show us a change of structure. If it doesn't, then potentially 1750 is the last frontier that I'm going to be looking for longs. All right. So this is my plan on gold. Make sure to have those levels out. I have a little level right there as well, like the middle of this big daily demand area. So let's see how gold is going to develop for the upcoming week. And wrapping up the video with a very quick look on some indices. US 30, a bullish week again, nothing pretty much, but it's a nice continuation from the previous week. If I drop to the daily time frame, you can see that this bullish week was actually created on Monday. You can see the 8th of February, we pushed into the highs, and then it's been 4 days of just wicks up and wicks down. So actually from a daily time frame, this might be about to create some sort of a pullback. All right. This pullback can take place as much as 3,300 maybe, and then we can potentially impulse. Then dropping to the forward time frame, you can see how we are starting to consolidate a little bit at the top right there. Where is the most recent level that hasn't been retested? It's right here. So this actually could be our first area to be looking for longs. And if this doesn't hold, then we can potentially consult with the daily, which is this where the move actually started, which is this area right there. So if I'm just to mark the wick, it's this one, which is more or less, 3,400, let's say. So this is my view on US 30. We can expect a slight pullback and then potentially a continuation. And as you can see, NASDAQ actually is pretty much moving to the upside. We created a strong pullback to tap into the demand area right there. And since then, we have created a strong move to the upside. Dropping to the daily, to the forward, sorry. We had this very strong spike to gather liquidity in order to fuel those longs to the upside. And right now we're strongly impulsing to the upside to create a hard high. So let's see if this is going to sustain. Potentially we can have a little bit of a pullback to retest some of those areas and maybe then to create a continuation. And S&P, which is my favorite index as well, overall kind of a little bit of a consolidation. But as you can see, since the 8th, where is the 8th? Right there, we opened a very bullish manner, wick, and then on Friday we had this nice push into the highs. All right, so potentially just continuation trading, nothing pretty much right now in a strong impulse phase. So we have to wait for the correction and then potentially for the market to revisit some of the lows to potentially buy some stocks again. All right. So this is for this week, guys. I really hope you got something from it. If you did, make sure to leave a comment, hit the like button as well, and this will give me a lot of support and I would totally appreciate it. All right, make sure to stay tuned for the Tuesday analysis on Telegram. Link is down in the description. Make sure to join us there, and if you already did, thank you so much for watching and see you on my next video. Have a crushing week.